show this evening of The Man Who Came to Dinner. And we're excited that you're here, and of course we're more than excited that we're getting to do this for you. We got some nice press this past week, and hopefully that helped bring some of you out this evening. The Man Who Came to Dinner is classic Americana theater. It's about 60 years old, so it's an old production. And as I said in my note to you in the program, that this was quite a challenge for our ladies and gentlemen this evening. Not from their time, having to work with voices, costumes, and things that they're not used to doing. So it's been a challenge. And I know that at least last weekend, everybody who saw the show was very, very complimentary. And I was really excited for the kids because they did a fabulous job. I hope that you enjoy the set that was done by Al Chapin. It's beautiful. The props that were done by his wife and Jill Chapin along with her husband. The costumes that are absolutely gorgeous, done by Sheila D'Amico. The set was constructed with her husband Joe D'Amico and Eric Isotalo. Then, of course, Jason Rees, my right-hand man, who does the tech here and is fabulous. And I just hope I'm not forgetting anybody here. And then Sandy Manis, who does all the business and publicity. It takes a lot of people to put on a show like this, and I hope that by the end of the evening, you'll agree that we worked hard. Last couple times we did this, I said to the audience, please laugh. Have a good time, because they respond to your laughter, and this is a comedy. You'll catch on white sides of hoot as long as everybody else that's embroiled. So please have a good time. Let them know that you think they're fun, so they'll respond to you. And welcome, enjoy.
And this makes sense. Mr. and Mrs. Think of it.
Well, if it were my house, Daisy, I'd have a bronze plate put at the step right where he fell, and I'd never use the front stoop again.
Well, of course I feel terrible about it. I mean, he just never goes to dinners anywhere, and then he finally agrees to come here. And this had to happen. Oh, poor Mr. Whiteside, but it is going to be wonderful having him here with us, if only for a little while. Think of it, we'll sit around in the evening and we'll talk about all the wonderful books and plays and people he's known. And he'll talk to us in that wonderful way of his. He may even read Goodbye, Mr. Chips to us.
I can't wait any longer, Daisy. When do you suppose Mr. Whiteside... Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Ernest, H.G. Wells telephoned from London, and we're in time. Look!
I don't like this kind of publicity at all, Daisy. When do you suppose he's going to leave?
Now, Ernest, he's just getting out of bed. After all, he's had quite a shock, and he's been in bed for 2 full weeks. He will need a few days to rest.
I guess it's a great honor, his being in our house and all, but it is a little upsetting. The phone going all the time, bells ringing, messenger boys running in and out.
Pardon me, Miss Stanley, the cigarettes come yet?
My son went with him, Miss Cutler. We should be here very soon.
Thank you.
Ladies, this is Miss Cutler, Mr. Whiteside's secretary.
How do you do? May I move this chair?
Oh, yes, you mean he's coming out now?
He is indeed. He's coming out.
June! June! Mr. Whiteside's coming out!
Sarah, Mr. Whiteside's coming out.
I'm so excited, I just don't know what to do.
Me too. I know that I'll
Good morning, Dr. Bradley.
Good morning. Good morning. Well, here we are, Mary and Bright. Let's bring our little patient out.
I make farts.
Good morning, Mr. Whiteside. I'm Mrs. Stanley, and this is my husband, Ernest. Remember?
How you doing, Mr. Whiteside? I hope you're feeling better.
Thank you. I'm suing you for $150,000.
How's that?
What? I said I am suing you for $150,000.
You mean because you fell on our doorstep, Mr. Whiteside?
Samuel J. Leibowitz will explain the rest to you in court. Who are those 6 poppies standing there like a kiss of death?
Oh dear, my Casper jelly!
Made from your own foot, I have no doubt. Now, Miss Stanley, I have a few small matters which I would like to take up, since this coroner druggist at my elbow tells me I must be confined to a moldy mortuary for another 10 days, due entirely to stupidity and negligence. I will require to carry on the rest of my activities as best I can. I require the exclusive use of this room, as well as that daffy sewer which you call a library. I want nobody to come in or out while I am in this room.
If I may interrupt for a moment, sir.
You may not.
But, Mr. Whiteside, we have to use the stairs to go to our rooms.
Isn't there a back entrance?
Well, yes.
Then use that. Let me see. Also require a room for my secretary, Miss Cutler. I will require the exclusive use of that phone, so please do not call on it. I sleep until noon. You must have quiet throughout the house until that time. There will be 5 for lunch today. Where's the cook?
Now, Mr. Whiteside,
There's nothing to discuss, sir. Will you take your clammy hands off me? You have the touch of a sex-starved cobra. Now, will you all leave quietly, unless I ask my secretary to pass along you with a baseball bat?
Well, goodbye, Daisy. We'll call you. Oh, that's right. We mustn't use the phone. Well, we'll see you.
But I haven't given him my family heirloom.
He'd probably just bill you, Gertrude. Well, I never. Come along, Ben here.
Goodbye, Daisy.
now look here, Mr. Whiteside.
There is nothing to discuss, sir. Considering the damage I have suffered at your hands, I'm asking very little. Good day.
I'll call you later from the office, Daisy.
Not on this phone, please. Here's the menu for lunch.
But, Mr. Whiteside, I've already ordered lunch.
It'll be sent up to you on a tray. Where are those cigarettes?
My son went for them. He should be here very soon. Sarah,
cannot stand indecision. You either go up those stairs or down them.
Hello, Mr. Whiteside. Sorry I was gone so long. I had to go to 3 different stores.
You were gone long enough to have a baby. Is there any man who suffers from the gross inadequacies of the human race as I do? What are you doing? Go and read the life of Lawrence Nightingale and find out how unfitted you are for your chosen profession.
Well, I think I can safely leave you in Miss Cutler's capable hands. Shall I check you again this afternoon?
If you do, I shall spit right in your eye.
Oh, what a sense of humor you writers have. It really isn't worth mentioning, but I've been doing a little writing myself about my medical experiences.
Am I to be spared nothing?
Would it be too much to ask of you to look over it while you're here?
Trapped.
Well, I just happen to have a copy with me. The story of a humble practitioner for 40 years in Ohio Dock.
I shall drop everything.
Oh, thank you. And I hope you like it. We'll see you on tomorrow. Don't forget those little pills. Keep that hip right. Bye.
Oh. Maggie, you take 40 years of naval incisions or whatever it's called.
Well, I must say, you certainly behaved with all your custom grace and charm.
Look, kitten, I'm in no mood to discuss my behavior, good or bad. I had no desire to cross this cheerless threshold. I was hounded and badly. And I now find myself, after 2 weeks of racking pain, accused of behaving without charm. What would you have me to? Kiss them?
Very well, Sherry. After 10 years, I should have known better than to try to do anything about your manners. But when I finally give up this job, I may write a book about it all. Through the years of Prince Charming.
Listen, repulsive. You're tied to me with an umbilical cord made of piano wire. Now, if we may dismiss the subject of my charm, for which, incidentally, I receive $1,500 per appearance, perhaps we could get down to work. Oh, no, we can't, can we? Yes?
I'm Miss Harriet Stanley. I know you're Sheriff Whiteside. I saw this holly ran green against the pine trees. It reminded me what you wrote about. Taps and Jude the Obscure. It was the nicest present I could bring you.
Goodness sakes, what was that?
That was Mr. Stanley's sister, Harriet. I've talked to her a few times. She's quite strange.
Strange. She's right out of the Hound of Baskervilles. No, I've seen that face somewhere before.
Nonsense, you couldn't have.
Ah, well, let's get down to work. Here. Press this into Dr. Kupper. I see no reason why I should endorse maiden-born girls.
Here are some telegrams.
What date is this?
December 10th.
Send a wire to Columbia Broadcasting. You can schedule my New Year's Eve broadcast, as I will head east instead of going to Hollywood. Stop. For special Christmas Eve broadcast, we'll have as my guests Jessica Heifetz, Catherine Cornell, Schiaparelli, the Lunts, Dr. Alexius Carell, with Haley Selassie on shortwave from England. Whiteside.
Are you sure you'll be all right by Christmas, Sherry?
Of course. Send a wire to Muhammad Gandhi, Bombay, India. Dear Goode, schedule change. Can you meet me in Calcutta, July 12th? Then 8:30, Whiteside. Send a wire to the editor of the Atlantic Monthly. Do not worry, Sneaky, Capulo Rock, Whiteside. Arturo Toscanini, where is he?
I'll find him.
Counting on you January 4th, Metropolitan Opera House. My annual benefit, Home for Parole Convicts. As you know, this is a very worthy cause and close to my heart. Are you promised me to appear? Flagstaff, Martinelli, and no, that's it. Will you have quiet dinner with me and Ethel Barrymore afterwards? Dinner, 8:30 Whiteside. If that's from Miss Stanley, tell them she's too drunk to talk.
Hello? What?
dribbling and give me that phone.
In fact, he's screaming at me right now. Here he is.
Hello, you fawns behind. And what are you giving me for Christmas? Ah, what news, Banjo, my boy? How's Hollywood? How's the picture coming? How are Wacko and Slappo? No, I'm fine. Yes, in very capable hands. I've got the best postdoctor in town. What about you? Having any fun? Playing any cribbage? You what? Well, don't take all the money. Leave some for me. Your what? Having your portrait painted? By whom? Milton Gross? Not really. No, I'll be heading to New York for 12 days and then to Dartmouth for the drama festival. You wouldn't understand. Well, I can't spend all my time talking to Hollywood riffraff. Kiss some old possums for me. Goodbye. He took $1,400 from Sam Goldwyn in cribbage last night. And Goldwyn said, Banjo, I will never play garbage with you again.
What's all this about having his portrait painted?
Salvador Dali. That's all that face of his needs. A surrealist of paintings. What is it now, Miss Bedpan?
It's your pills. One every 45 minutes.
Give me the rest of those.
Oh, here's a cable from that dear friend of yours, Lorraine Sheldon.
Let me see it.
Sherry, my poor sweet lamb. Have been in Scotland on a shooting party with Lord and Lady Kennard, and only just heard of your poor sweet head. I'm down here in Surrey with Lord Bodley, sailing Wednesday on the Normandy, and cannot wait to see my poor sweet Sherry. Your blossom girl, Lorraine. In the words of the master, I may vomit.
Come, kitten. Mustn't be bitter just because Lorraine is more beautiful than you are.
Lorraine Sheldon is a very fair example of that small but vicious circle you move in.
Pure jealousy if I ever saw it. Let me see the rest.
Lorraine Sheldon, Lord Bottomley, my Aunt Fanny.
Ah, this one's from Beverly Carlton.
Oh, England's little rover boy.
Dear baby's breath. What's this I hear about a hip fracture in some brawl? This doesn't mean our Hollywood Christmas party is canceled, does it? Just finished the new play in Pago Pago and it's superb. Me and Luke and Davey leave Honolulu tomorrow in that order. By the way, the Sultan of Zanzibar wants to meet Ginger Rogers. Toodles from Beverly.
He does travel, doesn't he?
So, we'll be in Hollywood next week. Why can't he stop here on his way? Send a wire to Beverly Carlton, Royal Hawaiian Hotel, Honolulu. If these people intend to have their friends using the front door,
What do you want them to do? Use a rope ladder.
I will not have another mildewed pus bag running in and out of here while I'm trying to work.
Why, good morning, Mr. Johnson. Good morning, John. Good morning, Mr. Whiteside. I'm Jefferson from the Celia Journal.
Get rid of him.
I'm sorry, Mr. Whiteside has seen no one.
Really?
So will you please excuse us? Good day.
He seems to be sitting up and taking notice.
Well, I'm afraid he's not taking notice of the Massalia Journal. Do you mind?
If I'm going to be insulted, I'd rather it be by Mr. Whiteside himself. I never did like carbon copies.
Touche, and it was Sailor too. Maggie dear.
Will you please leave?
How about an interview, Mr. Whiteside?
You never give it. Go away.
But Mr. Whiteside, if I don't get this interview, I'd lose my job.
That would be quite all right with me.
Now, you don't mean that. You used to be a newspaper man yourself, and you know what editors are like. Well, mine's the toughest one that ever lived.
You won't get around me that way. If you don't like the editor, get off the paper.
But I happen to think it's a good paper. William Randolph Hearst left the New York Times, but he didn't.
You have the effrontery, in my presence, to compare yourself with William Hearst.
Only in the sense that Hearst stayed with the New York Times, and I want to stay here and say what I want to say.
Such as what?
I can't put it into words. It would sound like an awful lot of hooey, but the Journal was my father's paper. It's kind of a sentimental point with me, the paper. I want to carry on where he left off.
So, you own this paper, eh?
That's right.
Then this terrifying editor, this dread journalistic apocalypse, is you yourself.
In a word, yes.
I see.
In the future, Sherry, let me know when you don't want to talk to people. I'll usher them right in.
Come here, young man. I suppose you've written that novel.
No, I've written that play.
Well, I don't want to read it. Do these old eyes a box of cookies over there? Bring them to me, will you?
The trouble is, Mr. Whiteside, that your being in town comes under the heading of the news. Practically the biggest news since the Depression. So I just gotta get a story.
Upon butternut fun.
Oh, Mr. Whiteside, you mustn't eat candy. It's very bad for you.
My great Aunt Jennifer ate an entire box of chocolates every day of her life.
Uh-huh.
And when she had lived to be 103, and when she died, when she had been dead for 2 days, she looked better than you do right now. What were you saying, young man? You were about to say,
I can at least report to my readers that chivalry is not yet dead.
we won't discuss that. Well, now that you've won me with your pretty ways, what would you like to know?
Well, how about a brief talk on the famous murders? You're an authority on murder as a fine art.
Young man, when I talk about murder, I get paid for it. I made more money on this Snyder Gray case than the lawyers did, so don't expect to get it for nothing.
Well then, what do you think of Massalia? How long are you going to be here? Where are you going? Things like that.
Very well. A, Visalia is a town of irresistible charm. B, I cannot wait to get out of it. And C, I'll be heading from here to Crockett for my semi-annual benefit Home for Paroled Convicts, for which I've raised over $500,000 for in the past 5 years. Have you ever heard how Crockett started, Jefferson?
No, I didn't.
Sit down, Jefferson. It's one of the most touching and endearing stories of our time. The year was 1901. Elias P. Crockfield was just emerging from the state penitentiary. Destitute, embittered, cruel of heart, he wandered this St. Valentine's Eve to a little church. Inside, he made his way to the poor box. With callous fingers, he ripped open a poignant testimony of a simple people's faith. As he clutched at the pennies within, a small girl's treble broke the faltering twilight. "Please, Mr. Man," the little girl's voice said, "won't you be my Valentine?" In the girl's tiny outstretched hand was his humble Valentine. And in that crystal moment, a door opened in the heart of Elias P. Crockfield, and in his mind was born an idea. 25 years later, 3,000 ruddy-cheeked convicts were gambolling the lawns of Crockfield. Elias P. Crockfield has since gone to meet his maker, but the little girl, now grown into lovely womanhood, is now known as the Angel of Crockfield, for she is the wife of the warden. And in the main hall of Crockfield, between a Rembrandt and an El Greco, there hangs, in a simple little frame, that humble Valentine.
And in the men's washroom, every Christmas Eve, the ghost of Elias P. Cockfield appears in one of the booths. You sign this, please?
This aging debutante, Mr. Jefferson, I keep in my employ only because she's the sole support of her two-headed brother.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Whiteside. You've been very kind. And by the way, I'm a cribbage player if you need one while you're in town.
Good! How much can you afford to lose?
I usually win.
We won't discuss that. Come back at 8:30 and we'll play 3 hands.
Daddy!
Mets! Mets, you incredible field-hound. What are you doing here?
I explained, Daddy, but first I will eat my leg apple.
Max, what a wonderful surprise!
on insect life.
How do you do?
How do you do? Shaddy?
Metz, stop looking at me adoringly and tell me why you are here.
You sick, Shaddy, so I come to cheer you.
Metz lived in a cave for 2 years with nothing but plant lice. She rates 3 pages in the Encyclopedia Britannica. Don't you, my little bookworm?
Please, Shaddy, you embarrass me. Look, I have brought you a present to while away the hours. I said to my students, boys and girls, I want to give a present to my sick friend, Shaddy in Whiteside. So you don't read it? We made a community of Paraplanta Americana, commonly known as the American cockroach. Behold, Shaddy, Roach City. Inside here are 10,000 cockroaches.
And now, Sarah, son, what do you think?
And in 1 week, Shaddy, if all goes well, there'll be 50,000.
If all goes well, what can go wrong? They're in there, aren't they?
White, please.
Look, Shaddy, you can watch them as they live out their whole lives. Here's the maternity hospital. It is fascinating. They do everything that human beings do.
Well,
Please, madam. These are my cockroaches.
sorry.
And with these earphones, Shaddy, you can listen to their mating calls. There are microphones down inside. Listen.
How long has this been going on?
Paraplanta Americana. There are cockroaches in this house. I beg your pardon? Mr. Whiteside, I don't know who this woman is, but I will not stand here and be...
Then go upstairs. These are probably my luncheon guests. Metz, you will stay for the day, of course.
Certainly.
What about you, Jefferson? Stay for lunch?
Glad to. We've been guests, Mr. Whiteside. All cleaned up, right, guys?
Here, Jefferson, are the fruits of that humble Valentine. These men, now serving the final terms of their prison sentence, have chosen to enter the ivy-colored halls of property. Gentlemen, I envy your great adventure. You're Michelson, aren't you? Butcher shop murders?
Yes, sir.
And you, Babyface Henderson, the hatchet fiend. Always chop them up in salad bowl, remember?
Oh, yes.
And that third one, I don't recognize him. Who is he, Baker?
Him? He's the kid. He's an innocent mugger to lure old ladies to take him across the street. And then he drowned them.
Lunch is ready, Mr. Whiteside. Gentlemen, right this way. Can I help you?
Yes, thank you. We'll be having chicken livers fettuccine with cherries jubilee for dessert. I hope every little tummy is aflutter with gastric juices. John, close the windows. I don't want anybody prying in on their veterans. I was dreaming of Lillian Russell, and I awake to find you.
Your master, Mr. Whiteside.
What time is it?
It's about 6:30.
Where is Miss Cutler?
Oh, she went out.
All right, time for the lights up for you, Mr. Whiteside.
Yes, thank you, John. Out?
She went out with Mr. Jefferson.
Sarah's got something for you, Mr. Whiteside. Made it Memphis.
She has? Where is she, my souffle queen?
Here I am, Mr. Whiteside.
Ah, she walks in beauty like the night, and in those deft hands the art of Michelangelo. Let me taste the new booty. Poetry. She one, my great aunt Jennifer another, and the third, Sarah, is you.
Oh, Mr. Whiteside.
Come here, Jew. How would you like to move to New York with me and work for me, you and Johnny?
Why, Mr. Whiteside,
Sarah,
it kind of takes my breath away.
you'd be awfully kind to me, Mr. Whiteside, but what would we say to Mr. and Mrs. Stanley?
Just goodbye.
But wouldn't they be awfully mad? They've been so very kind to us.
Well, they can visit us in New York if I'm not in town. Now, run along, you two, and just keep this between us. And make sure to put plenty of sherry in that terrapin. Miss Pree! What have you got in there anyways, a sailor?
I was just washing my hands.
What time did you say Miss Cutler went out?
A couple hours ago.
All right, go back to your sex life.
Dear Mr. Whiteside, may I show you a few mementos of my past? I somehow feel you would love them as I do.
Why, thank you, Miss Stanley. Have we met somewhere before?
Oh no, it would have been one of my cherished memories like these. Look, here I am with my first sweetheart under the lovely beechwood trees. I was 8 and he was 10. I'll never forget him. What happy times we had. What?
My comments, I'm going to.
Someone's coming. I'll come back.
Mr. Whiteside, I just received the bill from the telephone company for $784. Oklahoma City, Calcutta, Hollywood, Australia, Rome, New York, New York, New York, New York. Now, Mr. Whiteside, I understand you're a very distinguished man of letters.
Of course we both do, Mr. Whiteside.
Please. But in the past week, we have not been able to call our souls our own. We have had one meal in the dining room. I have to tiptoe out of the house in the morning.
Now, Ernest,
Oh, I go to the bathroom this morning and bumped into 22 Chinese students that you invited here. I tell you, I won't stand it.
Are you quite finished?
No. I come home from work today and find killers at my dinner table. Butcher shop murderers and a woman putting cockroaches in my kitchen.
they just escaped, Ernest.
That's not the point. I go down to the cellar this morning and trip over that octopus that William Beebe sent you. I tell you, I won't stand it. I want you to go to a hotel. Stop pawing me, Daisy. That's all I have to say.
And quite enough, I should think. May I remind you, Mr. Stanley, that I am not a willing guest of this house, that I am informed by my doctor that I must remain here for another 10 days, which time I shall get out of here so fast the wind will knock you over, I hope. As for the details of your petty complaints, those 22 Chinese students came straight from the White House, where I assure you they used the bathroom there as well.
Mr. Whiteside, my husband didn't mean that.
Yes, I did. I meant every word of it.
There is only one complaint you make that I see some slight justice. I do not expect you to pay for my telephone bills, and I will see that some restitution is made. Can you provide me with an exact sum?
I certainly can, certainly will.
Good! I shall instruct my lawyers to deduct it from the $150,000 I've already sued you for.
Ernest, you must remember Mr. Whiteside is a guest in our home. Ernest, we mustn't get excited.
Hello, operator? Can you get me to the South Lyon Journal? Hello, Journal? Is Mr. Jefferson there? He's not, eh? No messages. Come here, you two. Come on, I'm not going to bite you. I am by nature a gracious and charming person. If I leer at it, it is a side of kindness and amiability. I have been observing you two for the past week, and you seem to me to be extremely likable young people. In the future, I would appreciate it if you wouldn't treat me like something out of Edgar Allan Poe. How do you like my new tie?
Thank you, Mr. Whiteside. This does make things much pleasanter. And I think your tie is very pretty.
Now that we're on speaking terms, Mr. Whiteside, I don't mind telling you that I've been admiring all your ties.
Do you like this one?
I certainly do.
It's yours.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Whiteside. It's very kind of you.
I'll give it to you later. Really, this curious legend that I am a difficult person is pure fabrication. Ice skating, eh? I used to touch figure eights myself, arm in arm with Betsy Ross, waving the flag behind us.
It was a wonderful day on the ice today. Miss Culler and Mr. Jefferson were there.
Maggie, ice skating?
Yes, and she's quite good, too. I got a lovely picture of her.
Were they there when you left?
I think so.
Yes, they were.
Mr. Whiteside, do you mind if I take a picture of you?
Very well. Do you want my profile?
I'm afraid you're done for, Mr. Whiteside. My brother's a camera fiend.
Thank you, Mr. Whiteside. I gotta go.
Hello, Miss Cutler.
Hello there.
Hello, Miss Cutler.
Good evening, Sherry. Really, Sherry, you got this room looking like an old parrot cage. Did you nap while I was out? What's the matter, dear? Can't run away with your tongue?
Don't look at me with those great cow eyes, you hag. Where were you all afternoon? Alley catching around with Bert Jefferson.
Sherry, Bert read his play to me this afternoon. It isn't just a play written by a newspaper man. It's superb. I want you to read it tonight. It just cries out for Cornell. Will you send it to her, Sherry? And will you read it tonight?
No, I will not read it tonight or any other night. While we are on the subject of Mr. Jefferson, maybe you'd like to ask him if he'd pay your salary, since he takes up all your time.
Oh, come now, Sherry. Is it as bad as that?
I have not been able to reach you, not knowing where you rendezvous.
Oh, Sherry, stop behaving like a spoiled child.
Don't take that patronizing tone to me, you bee-bitten Cleopatra. I will not have you running out every time my back is turned like some sort of love-sick high school girl.
Well, Sherry, I'm afraid you've hit the nail on the head.
Stop acting like Zazu Pitts and explain yourself.
I'll make it quick, Sherry. I'm in love.
Nonsense! This is merely delayed puberty.
No, Sherry, I'm afraid this is it. You are going to lose a very excellent secretary.
You're out of your mind.
Yes, I think I am a little. But I'm a girl who's waited a long time for this to happen. And now it has. Mr. Jefferson doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to try my darndest to marry him.
Is that all?
Yes, except that, well, I suppose this is what might be called a resignation. As soon as you got someone else.
Now listen to me, Maggie. We have been together a long time. You're indispensable to me.
I know that, Sherry.
That being the case, I will not stand by and allow you to make a fool of yourself.
I'm not, Sherry.
You are, my dear. You're behaving like a Booth Tarrington heroine. It's incredible. I cannot believe that a girl who for the past 10 years has had the grace of the world served up to her on the planet. I cannot believe that it is anything but a kind of temporary insanity when she's swept off her feet by a second-rate, small-town newspaper man.
I can't explain what's happened, Sherry. I can only tell you that it's so. It's hard for me to believe, too. Here I am, a hard-bitten old cynic, behaving like True Story magazine and liking it. Discovering the moon and ice skating. I keep laughing to myself all the time. What can I do about it, Sherry? I'm in love.
We're leaving tomorrow. Hip or no hip, we're leaving tomorrow. I don't care if I fracture the other one. I'll get you out of this, Miss Starlight. I'll get the ants out of those pants. Can you see yourself, the wife of the editor of the Visalia Journal, having a quiet dinner with the Stanleys, Mr. and Miss Poopface, and being a member of the Book of the Month Club?
Sherry, I've had 10 years of the great figures of our time. And don't think I'm not grateful to you for it. They've been wonderful years, Sherry. Gay and stimulating. I don't think anyone has had the fun we've had. But a girl can't laugh all the time, Sherry. There comes a time in her life when she wants Bert Jefferson. You don't know Bert, Sherry. He's gentle and he's unassuming. And, well, I love him. That's all.
I see. Well, I remain completely unconvinced. You are fooling yourself in this Joan Crawford fantasy before you become completely anesthetized. I should do everything in my power to pull you out of it.
Now listen to me, Whiteside. I know you. Lay off. I know what a devil you can be. I've seen you do to other people. Don't you dare do to me. Don't drug yourself into the idea that all you're thinking of is my happiness. You're thinking of yourself a little bit too. And all those months of breaking in somebody new, I've seen you in a passion before when your life has been disrupted. And you couldn't dine in Calcutta on July 12th with Boo-Boo. Well, that's too bad, but there it is. I'm going to marry Bert if he'll have me, so don't you dare try any of your tricks. I'm on to every one of them. So lay off. That's my message to you, Big Lord Fauntleroy.
Hello, operator? I'd like to make a transatlantic call. Hello, transatlantic operator? This is Visalia 142. I need to get a hold of Miss Lorraine Sheldon, Sheldon. She's on the Normandy, sailed from Southampton day before yesterday. Will it take long? Thank you. This is Whiteside.
Good evening, John.
Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening, Mr. Whiteside.
What is it, Doctor?
Now, what could be the best news I could possibly bring you?
You have hydrophobia.
No. Turns out you can get up and walk now.
What?
Well, I was looking at the x-rays the other day. Turns out I've been looking at the wrong x-rays. Turns out I've been looking at old Miss Moffat's x-rays. It is now known that you are perfectly, absolutely, completely well.
Keep your voice down, will you?
What is it? Aren't you pleased?
Yes. But you see, this news comes at a very unexpected bit of time. You see, I've been reading your book. 40 years of, what was it?
An Ohio doctor, yes?
I consider it very close to being the best literary contribution of our time.
Mr. Whiteside.
So firmly do I believe it that I need to stay in Visalia and work with Donna.
I would be so terribly honored.
Yes, but you see, if my lecture bureau and sponsors were to learn that I'm well, they would expect me to withhold my contracts. And I would be forced to leave Visalia.
I see, I see.
So we mustn't tell anybody, not anyone at all, that I am well.
Not a soul, not even my wife.
Good.
When do we start work? Tonight, I just have one patient dying and then I'll be perfectly free.
Tomorrow morning, Doctor, will you excuse me? This is a very important call.
Yes, tomorrow morning it is. Good night. I'll be so proud to work with you, Mr. Whiteside.
Yes, very proud.
You made me very proud, Mr. Whiteside.
Yes, this is Whiteside. Put them through. Hello, is this my Blossom girl? Hello, Lorraine. When do you arrive in New York? Tuesday? Yes, that's fine. Now listen closely, my friend. I've discovered a marvelous part for you. Cornell will my teeth to play it, but I think you could swing it. Isn't that wonderful, my pet? No, wait. The author is a young newspaper man here in town. No, he's young and attractive, and just your dish, my dear. It takes a little doing, and you're just the girl to do it. No, don't thank me. Just get on the Streamline train and get down here as soon as possible. And look, don't send any messages. Yes, goodbye, dear. I do declare, Miss Preed, you're looking marvelous this evening.
Sherry, I'm sorry for what I said before. I'm afraid it was a little unjust.
That's okay, Maggie dear. We all lose our tempers now and again.
I promised to have dinner with Bert and go to a movie, but we'll come back and play cribbage with you instead.
Fine.
See you soon, Sherry dear. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, Mr. Moon, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out tonight. Oh, Mr. Moon, won't you come out tonight and dance by the light of the moon?
Well, I guess they're all down, Miss Cutler. They're all under the tree.
Thank you, John.
My, I never saw so many presents. I can hardly wait to see what's in them.
When will Mr. Whiteside open the present?
Well, you see, John, Christmas is Mr. Whiteside's personal property. He invented it and it belongs to him. First thing tomorrow morning, Mr. Whiteside will open each and every present, and there will be the biggest fuss you ever saw.
Why, looky here. There's presents from Shirley Temple, William Lyon Phelps, Billy Rose, Somerset Maugham. Why, I can hardly wait for tomorrow.
My, it certainly is wonderful. Mr. Whiteside's tree is so beautiful, too. Mr. and Mrs. Stanley had to put those up in their room, you know. They can hardly undress at night.
Good evening, John. Merry Christmas, Mr. Jefferson. Hello, Maggie. Merry Christmas, Sarah.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Jefferson.
Say, business is good, isn't it? My, what a little quiet blackmail at a radio hour can get you. What did his sponsors give him?
They gave him a full year's supply of their product, cream of mush.
Well, he'll give it right back to them over the air.
Wait until you hear tonight's broadcast. It's so sticky I haven't been able to get it off my fingers since I copied it.
I'll bet. Look, I'll come clean. Under the influence of God knows what, I bought you a Christmas present.
Why, Mr. Jefferson, sir.
But before I throw away all my hard-earned money, I'd like you to see it. Would you come downtown and take a look at it?
Bert, this is very sweet of you. I'm touched. What is it? I can't wait.
A 2-year subscription to Pick, Click, and Look and Listen. Say, do you think I'm going to tell you? Come down and see.
All right. Sherry, I'm going out for a few minutes with Horace Greeley. I won't be long.
Noel, Mr. W. How about some cribbage after your broadcast tonight?
No, I will not play cribbage with you, Klondike Perry. Where are you off to now, Madam Butterfly?
I'm being given a Christmas present. Anything you want done downtown?
Yes, bring baby a lollipop. What are you giving me for Christmas, Jefferson? I have enriched your feeble life beyond the capacity you were to repay me.
Yes, that's what I thought. So I'm giving you nothing.
Well, I was going to give you my old trust, but now I shan't. What time are those radio men coming, Maggie?
About 6:30. I should be here. By the way, there's a wire here from Beverly Carlton. He doesn't know a
my sight, Maggie, and don't bring him back.
Yes, Mr. Whiteside, sir. I won't come back until Beverly Carlton gets here.
Where are we going, Bert? I want to know what you bought me. I'm like a 10-year-old kid.
You know, you look like a 10-year-old kid right now, Maggie, at that.
Hello, operator. Get me to the Mansion House. No, I don't know the number. Hello, Mansion House? Yes. Can you tell me if Miss Lorraine Sheldon has arrived yet? She's coming from New York. She hasn't? Thank you. What? Coming in like that?
But I wasn't coming in. I was coming out.
Miss Freed, you're obviously in this room. Isn't that correct?
Yes, sir.
Therefore, you came in. Hereafter, please knock.
Yes, sir.
There's an express in here with a large crate, Mr. Whiteside. I told him to come in around the front.
Thank you, John. Go away, Miss Freed. You look like a frozen custard.
Careful there. Pull off now. Right this way. Why, some kind of animal.
Well, I'll say they're animals. We defeated them at 7 o'clock this morning.
Who's it from, John?
Animal Richard E. Goode. Say, why, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 penguins. Hello, my pretties.
They're actually feeding a redhead too. Top, 2 little slats of them.
To be fed, only whale blubber, eel, and cracked lobster.
They got a Coca-Cola this morning and liked it. You got a lot of win leaders to make. Good day, sir.
You know, they make the most entrancing companions, John. I wonder if he's put in the library with me. And better tell Sarah to order some cracked lobster.
Yes.
Don't suppose there's any whale blubber in this town.
Good evening, Mr. Whiteside.
Oh, yes, there is.
The door was open, so Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Doctor. I don't suppose if you know if eels are in season.
How's that?
Never mind, I was a fool to ask you.
Well, Mr. Whiteside, I was wondering about my...
I'm sorry you happened to stop in now, Doctor. I'm doing my yoga exercises.
I opened the 2 slats in there, Mr. Whiteside. It's awful crowded in that.
Thank you, John.
Oh, Mr. Whiteside, my book. It's been a week now. I thought perhaps maybe...
Shh.
I thought maybe... Hello, Miss Bree.
Oh, good evening, Dr. Bradley. Doctor, perhaps I'm not well. Will I open those doors just now? I thought I saw a penguin with the thermometer in his mouth.
What's that? Have those penguins gotten out of their crates?
Penguin? Did you say penguin?
Yes. Doctor, would you go in there, please, and capture them? There's 4 of them.
Yes, capture the penguins.
And, Miss Creek, will you go in there and entertain them until I can come in?
Yes, sir.
The Christmas tree in the bedroom just fell on Mr. Stanley. He's got a big bump on his forehead.
Isn't that too bad?
Hello, Mr. Whiteside.
Hello, Dickie.
Go away, Doctor. Go away, Miss Green.
Well, will you have some time later, Mr. Whiteside?
I don't know, Doctor. I'm busy.
Well, I'll wait a little while. I'll wait a little while.
Dr. Bradley is the greatest living argument for mercy, please.
What's up, Richard?
Have you
There's an essence of real photographic journalism. They're as good as anything in Margaret Brooke writes.
I didn't know they were as good as that. I just like to take pictures, that's all.
I've been meaning to talk to you about this. You're not just a kid fooling with a camera anymore. These are good. This is what you ought to do. Do some of the things you've been telling me about. Just get on a train and get off wherever it stops. Galveston, Mexico, Singapore. And just take pictures, Richard. Millions of them. Wonderful pictures. Terrible pictures. Everything.
I'd really like to. If I could do that, I'd be the happiest guy in the world.
Why don't you? If I were your age, I'd do it like a shot.
Well, you know. Dad.
Richard, do you really want to do this more than anything in the world?
I certainly do.
Then do it.
Oh, hello, Dick. Good afternoon, Mr. Whiteside.
Hello, June. So, I'm afraid it's up to you, Richard.
I guess so. Thank you, Mr. Whiteside. You've been swell.
Right, Joe, Richard.
I'll never forget. June, are you coming upstairs?
In a few minutes, Richard.
Please knock on my door. I'd like to talk to you.
Yes, I will. Mr. Whiteside?
June, my lamb, you were too young to know about the Elwell murders, weren't you? Fascinating case, the Elwell case. I have about 5 favorite murders, and the Elwell case would have to be one of them. Would you like to hear about it?
Well, Mr. Whiteside, I wanted to talk to you. Would you mind for a few minutes? It's important.
Not at all. I think this is all about your young Lothario at the factory.
Yes, it is. I just can't seem to make Father understand. I mean, it's like talking to a blank wall. You won't meet him. You won't even talk about it. I don't know what to do, Mr. Whiteside. Sandy and I love each other. I don't know where to turn.
June, I'd like to meet your young man. I'd like to see him for myself.
Would you, Mr. Whiteside? He's in the kitchen now.
Good, bring him in.
Mr. Whiteside, Sandy is a very sensitive boy. You will be nice to him, won't you?
Living lizards, June! When will you realize that I'm always kind and courteous? Bring this idiot in!
Sandy. Here he is, Mr. Whiteside. This is Sandy.
How do you do, sir?
How do you do? Well, it seems if I'm correctly informed that you two babes in the woods have quietly gone out of your mind.
Well, there's another name for it. It's called love.
Well, you've come to the right place. Dr. Sheridan Whiteside. Broken hearts mended, brakes realigned, cameras. Go right ahead.
Well, if June has told you anything at all, Mr. Whiteside, you understand the jam line. You see, I work for the labor union, Mr. Whiteside. I'm an organizer. I've been organizing the men in Mr. Stanley's factory. Mr. Stanley's pretty sore about it.
All thanks.
Did June tell you that?
She did.
Well, that being the case, Mr. Whiteside, I don't believe I have the right to try to influence June. If she marries me, that means a definite break with your family, and I don't like to bring that sort of thing about. But the thing is, Mr. Stanley's so stubborn about it, so arbitrary. This isn't something I've done just to spite him. We fell in love with each other. He acts as though we're all a big plot. Like John O. Lewis sent me here just to marry his daughter.
Dad's tried to fire Sandy twice, Mr. Whiteside, straight out of the factory. But he couldn't on account of the lab react, thank goodness.
Yes, he thinks I wrote that too.
If he'd only let me talk to him, if he'd let Sandy talk to him.
Well, we've gone over that already, June. Anyway, I got word I'm needed in Chicago. I may have to go on to Frisco from there, so you see the jam line.
Sandy's leaving tonight, Mr. Whiteside. He might be gone a year. You simply have to decide now.
June, my man, this is absurdly simple. Now to my jaundiced eye. Will you excuse me? Hello? Yes, this is Whiteside. Is it transatlantic call? Yes, who is it from? Ah, put him on. Walt? Hello, Walt. It's Walt Disney from Hollywood. Yes, I thought you would. How did you find me? Yes, I'm listening. What, 10 seconds more? Mr. Disney calls me every Christmas. Yes, I hear it. Sounds an awful lot like Steph. June, come here. Yes, thank you. Tell me, how are things in Hollywood? I see. Oh, well, I have to go. And don't worry about Fantasia. Beethoven hasn't written a hit in years. Goodbye. Mr. Disney calls me every Christmas, no matter where I am. I was on the bottom of the ocean floor with William Bacon, and he got me. June, I like your young man. I have non-hearing instinct about people. I have never been wrong. That's why I wanted to meet him. Now, stripped of all these externals, your problem comes down to one thing. Your father. The possibility of making him unhappy, correct?
Very unhappy.
That isn't the point. Suppose your parents are unhappy. It's good for them. Builds their character. I left home at the age of 4 and haven't been back since. My parents hear me on the radio, and it's good enough for them.
Then your advice is to go ahead, Mr. Whiteside.
It is. Marry him tonight, June.
You mean that, Mr. Whiteside?
No, June. I mean you should marry Donald Duck. I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it.
Come along, Daisy. Stop walking.
Here's the end.
Forgive us for trespassing, Mr. Whiteside.
Not at all, old man. After all, it is Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Whiteside. June, would you like to come with us? We're going to deliver some presents to the Dexters.
No, Mother. I have to go upstairs and write some letters.
Come, Daisy.
Why, Mrs. Stanley, what happened to your forehead? Did you have an accident?
Mr. Whiteside, I've been taking boxing lessons. Come, Daisy.
Dear Mr. Whiteside, I've been trying to see you all day. To give you this.
Why, thank you, Miss Stanley.
It's only a trifle, but I wanted you to have it. It was a picture of me taken many years ago on Christmas Eve. Don't open it till midnight, will you?
Of course.
Thank you. Is this the Stanley residence?
Yes.
Would you please tell her that Miss Lorraine Sheldon is here to see him?
Lorraine, an awesome girl.
Sherry, my sweet. Oh, darling, look at that poor, sweet, tortured face. Let me kiss it. Darling, how drawn you are, Sherry, my sweet. I want to cry.
All right, you've made a very nice entrance, dear. Now calm down.
But, darling, I've been so worried. And now seeing you in that chair.
This chair fits my fanny as nothing else ever has. My only concern now is news of the outside world. Take off that skunk, Lorraine, and tell me everything.
Darling, I'm so relieved. You look perfectly wonderful. I never saw you look better. My dear, do I look a wreck? I just dashed through New York. Didn't do a thing about Christmas. Hattie Carnegie had my hair done, and I hopped right on a train. And Normandy coming back was simply hectic. Fun, you know, but simply exhausting. Doc Whitney, Cary Grant, Dorothy DeFrazzo. It was too exhausting. And of course, nothing before that was so magnificent, my dear, that I simply never got to bed at all. Oh, darling, I have so much to tell you I don't know where to start.
Start with the dirt first, dear. That's what I want to hear.
Let me see. Sybil Cartwright was so right after Cyril's. It was the night before I left. She was wearing one of those new cellophane dresses, which left practically nothing to the imagination. And Harry Montross, the painter you know, suing his mother for disorderly conduct. It just shocked everyone. And oh, before I forget, Anthony Eden told me he'll be doing your New Year's broadcast, Sherry. And Beatrice Lilly gave me a message for you. She says to take off 25 pounds right away and send them to her by partial post. She needs them.
I'll pack them in ice. Now what about you, Lorraine? What about your loved one?
Sherry, dear, you're dreadful.
Oh, come on. What about that splendid bit of English mutton, Lord Botany? Don't tell me you haven't him yet.
Sherry, you said he was a dear friend of mine.
Oh, come. Don't tell me you wouldn't like to be Lady Botany with 12,000 pounds and 12 castles. Tell me, has he got those teeth of his fixed yet? Every time I order Roquefort cheese, I think of those teeth.
Sherry, really. Cedric may not be brilliant, but he is rather sweet, poor lad, and he is very fond of me. And he does represent a kind of English way of living that I like. Surrey in London for season, shooting fox in Scotland, that lovely old castle in Wales. You were there, Sherry, you know what I mean.
I do indeed.
And really, Sherry, why not? If I can marry Cedric, I don't know why I shouldn't. And should I tell you something, Sherry? I think it was something just before I left, but he's finally coming around to it. It wasn't a definite, mind you, but don't be surprised if I am Lady Botany before too long.
Lady Botany? Won't Kansas City be surprised? Well, I shall be a flower girl at the wedding and give the groom an iron toothpick for a wedding present. Come, dear, let's hear more of your skullduggery.
Well,
Mr. Whiteside.
What about now? Go away.
who's that?
Ah, he's fixing the plumbing. Come on, dear, give me some news.
Oh, darling, what about this play? I've been so excited ever since your phone call. And I've come here on Christmas Eve, all the way from New York. Where is it? When can I read it?
Well, here's the situation. You see, this young author, his name's Bert Jefferson, gave me the play with the understanding that I give it to Kit Cornell. And you know how disloyal I feel towards Kit.
Sherry.
Well, there you are. You'll meet him, etc. Now, just how you go about persuading him, I'm sure you know more about than I do.
Darling, you're wonderful. Does he know I'm coming? Mr. Jefferson,
No. You'll just meet him, and that's that. Get him to take you to dinner and work your way around to the play. Jump into wholesome facts. I don't have to explain this to you. How did you get all those other parts?
Sherry! Well, I'll go right back to the hotel and slip into something more attractive. I just dumped my bags and rushed right up here. Darling, you're wonderful.
Don't mention it. Get into your working clothes, and I'll have Mr. Jefferson on pack. By the way, greetings paying me a flying visit tonight. None other than your old friend and co-star, Beverly Carlton.
Really? Beverly. I thought he was being glamorous again on a tramp steamer.
Come. Mustn't be jealous just because he got better notices than you did.
Don't be silly, Sherry. I never read notices. I simply wouldn't care to act with him again, that's all. He's not staying here, is he? I hope not.
No, he's not. Settled down. By the way, where'd you get that new diamond brooch? That's a new bit of loot, isn't it?
Haven't you seen this before? Cedric gave it to me for his mother's birthday. She was simply furious. Look, darling, I've got a taxi outside, and if I'm going to get back here...
Sherry, what do you think? I've just been given...
Oh, hello, Maggie. How are you, my dear? I knew you must be around here somewhere.
Santa's been at work, my pet. Blossom Girl just stopped in out of the blue and surprised us.
Hello, Lorraine.
Who's that back there? Is that Bert Jefferson? Come in, Bert. Young newspaperman, Miss Lorraine Sheldon.
How do you do, Miss Sheldon?
How do you do? Didn't quite catch the name. Jefferson?
That's right, my pets.
Why, Mr. Jefferson, you don't look like a newspaper man. You don't look like a newspaper man at all.
Really? I thought it was written all over me in neon lights.
Oh, no. I should have said you were, oh, I don't know, an aviator
details of his life story, do so on your own time. Maggie and me have work to do. On your way, Blossom Girl, on your way, Jefferson.
He's the world's rudest man. Can I drop you, Mr. Jefferson? I'm going to the mansion house, I think it's called.
Thank you, but I've got my car. Suppose I drop you?
Oh, would you? That'd be lovely. We'll send the taxi out. See you in a little while, Sherry. Bye, Maggie.
Goodbye, Maggie. I'm invited back for dinner, am I not?
Of course you are. At Christmas, I always feed the needy. Get out, Lorraine. Get out, Jefferson.
Come on, Mr. Jefferson. I want to hear more about this charming little town of yours. And I want to know a good deal about you, too.
Come on, Maggie, get to work. How much time did those radio men say they wanted cut?
4 minutes. She's looking very well, isn't she?
Who?
The Countess D. Pushover. Quite a surprise, wasn't it? Her dropping in.
Yes, it was. The Yuletide season. Well, I can't cut that.
Why, she must have gone through New York like a dose of salt. How long is she going to stay?
I don't know. Been in the hearts of men.
Isn't it curious? There was Lorraine, snug as a bug on the Normandy.
I can't cut that either.
Now, Sherry, dear, we will talk of it.
Listen, Maggie, just because a friend of mine happens to stop by on Christmas, I have a feeling that's Beverly. Go out to the door. Run! Run!
Jack, my dog.
Come in here, you Piccadilly pen pusher, and gaze upon a soul in heaven.
Don't tell me how you are, Sherry dear. I want none of your tiresome details.
I have only little time, so the conversation will be entirely about me, and I shall love it. Shall I tell you how I glittered through the South Seas like the silver summertime? Or would you rather hear about how I frolicked through Zambezia, wooing the Major General's daughter, and finishing a 3-act play at the same time? Magpie, you are the moonflower of my middle age, and I love you very much.
Beverly, darling.
That's my girl. Now then, Sherry, without going into mountainous waves of self-pity, how are you?
I'm fine, you Piccadilly pen pusher. How was the trip? Wonderful?
Fabulous. I did a fantastic amount of work. By the way, did I glimpse that little boudoir butterfly Sheldon in the motor car as I came up the drive?
You did indeed. She's paying us a Christmas visit.
Dear girl, they do say she set fire to my mother, but I don't believe it. Now then, Sherry, have I told you that I've written the finest comedy since Moliere, and my best review since my last one, and an operetta that's so good it frightens me. I shall play for 8 weeks in London and 6 in New York. That's all, near matinees. And then I'm off to the Grecian Islands. Magpie, why don't you desert this cannonball of fluff and come with me?
Beverly, dear, be careful. You're catching me in a good moment.
Beverly, tell me, how's Hollywood?
Fabulous. I did a fantastic amount of work. I also seen everyone from Adrian to Zen. They came, poor dears, as to a shrine. I was insufferably charming and ruthlessly firm in refusing $7 million for 2 minutes' work.
Did you see my wonderful banjo in Hollywood?
I did indeed. He gave a dinner for me. I arrived in white tie and tails, to be met by the door by 2 bewigged buttons, who quietly ushered me in my lemon silk drawers into a room full of Norma Shear, Claudette Colbert, and Aldous Huxley, among others. Dear, sweet and compatible banjo.
I remember that summer in Antibes, when he put glue in Lorraine's mascara.
I remember indeed. Lorraine left Antibes by the next boat, with sunglasses on and her eyes half masked.
I wish Banjo were here now.
What's wrong, Magpie? Is Lorraine being her own sweet, sick-making self again?
You wouldn't take her to the Grecian Islands with you, would you, Beverly? Just for me?
Now, Maggie, Lorraine is a very dear friend who gave up her own Christmas to spend it with me.
Oh, I knew I had a little bit of dirt for salt in line. Mr. Whiteside.
Not now.
pomegranate. It's the latest report from London on the winter maneuvers of Miss Lorraine Sheldon against the left flank. In fact, all flanks, Lord Center, Portland. Listen, Lorraine has just left us in a cloud of Chanel number 5. Since September, in her relentless pursuit of his lordship, she has paused only to change Goethe's into Chekhov oil. She has chased him panting from castle to castle, till he finally took refuge for several weekends in the gentleman's laboratory in the House of Gold. Practically no one's betting on the derbies. We are making book on Lorraine. She is sailing tomorrow on the Normandy, but will return on the Atlantic Clipper at bottom Sandwich's bell, which is in a direction. Have you ever met Lord Bottomley, Madam Padre?
No, I haven't.
Terrible she's shooting today! 6 partridges! All grouse! One Lucas Sutherland!
You're making it out, Beverly. No one sounds like that.
It's so good, it's uncanny.
Ripping today in the house! Old bastard spent 3 hours! Long day, the end of it! They're ripping on!
Bottomley to his very bottom. Beverly, why can't you stay longer? I never see enough of you, you ungrateful moppet.
Sheridan, I can only tell you that my love for you is so great that I changed trains to Chicago to spend, 10 minutes with you and wish you a Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, my lad. Mother magpie.
Beverly.
And now, I have just time for one magnificent number to give you a taste of how brilliant the whole thing is. It's my second number for my new review.
Hello? Hello, Bert? Bert? Yeah. Hold on a second. Beverly, would you talk to the newspaper man for just 2 minutes? I kind of promised him.
Sorry, Magpie, I won't have time unless he's under the piano.
Oh. Well, wait a minute. Would you see him at the station just for a minute before the train goes? Bert, go to the station and wait for him there. He'll be there in a few minutes. Goodbye.
All right, Beverly, let's have this second-rate masterpiece.
The name of it is My Sugar is So Refined. My sugar is so refined. She's one of those high-class kind. She never wears a hat, she wears a chapeau. She goes to the cinema but never a show. My sugar is so refined. She's one of those high-class kind. She never shares a kiss. I wonder what she thinks. Oh, she's so refined.
That was magnificent. The best thing you've ever written.
Oh, let me say that.
Ah, come in, Westcott. Come in, gentlemen.
Oh, the airwaves. I shan't have to hear them, thank God, we have a trade.
Mr. Westcott, will you go to that room? John, will you please show them where to plug in?
Right this way, Jeff.
Come on, Whiteside, say goodbye.
What are you doing? I want to talk to Beverly.
Oh, you can kiss Beverly on July 12th in London.
Au revoir, Sherry. Merry Christmas.
Beverly, Maggie, I will not be rushed out of here like a baby that has to have its diapers changed.
Magpie, come, Lucas.
Beverly, I want 1 minute. I must have it. You'll make the train. The station's a minute and a half from here.
Of course, Magpie.
Go away!
I'm just waiting for it. Excuse me. Who is that man?
Never mind. Beverly, I'm in great trouble.
What's wrong, Magpie?
I've fallen in love.
No.
Yes, for the first time in my life, Beverly, I'm in love. I can't tell you about it. There's some time. But Sherry's trying to break it up. In his own fiendish way, he's doing everything he can to break it up.
Why, the old flounder? What is he doing?
Lorraine. He's brought Lorraine here to smash it up.
Oh, so it's somebody here in this town.
Yes, he's the newspaper man. The one you're going to see at the station. And he's written a play. I know Sherry must be using that as bait. You've got to help me, Beverly.
Of course, Magpie. What do you want me to do?
I've got to get Lorraine out of here. The further away, the better. And you can do it for me.
And how? I'm leaving.
Pardon me, Miss Cutler. Do you have a carbon of the broadcast?
Yes, there's one on that table.
Thank you. A pen ate the original.
Thank you.
Here's what I want you to do.
Oh, I adore it. I love it. It's simply enchanting and outmaneuvers Lorraine and Sherry at the same time. It's pure heaven and I shall do it up round.
Darling, you're wonderful. The first baby will be named Beverly.
Of course I am. Come to Cheswick on your honeymoon and I'll put you up. Goodbye, my lovely, I adore you. Oh, mercy, let me out of here.
Shall I straighten up the room for the broadcast, Miss Cutler?
No, John, it isn't television, thank God. They only hear the liquid voice.
He's really wonderful, isn't he? Mr. Whiteside, all the time he finds things to do.
Yes, he certainly sticks his nose into everything, John.
Miss Cutler, is Tom in there?
Yes, I think so.
Thank you.
Why, Miss June? Are you weeping?
No. No, John. Mr. Whiteside's in there, I suppose?
Yes, his pa's ready to go on the radio.
Oh. Well, would you... No, never mind. Look, John...
Where is he? Is he in the library?
Yes, he's busy.
Well, maybe we have to get ready to go.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go.
Thank you, John. Hello, dear. Where's Sherry?
Inside working. He's broadcasting very soon.
Oh, of course, Christmas Eve. What a wonderful man Sheridan Whiteside is. You know, it must be such an utter joy to be secretary to someone like Sherry.
Yes, you meet so many interesting people. That's quite a gown, Lorraine. Going anywhere?
This? Oh, I just threw on anything at all. Aren't you dressing for dinner?
Just what meets the eye. Who does your hair, Maggie? A little French woman named Maggie Cutler comes in every morning.
You know, every time I see you, I keep thinking your hair could be so lovely. I always wanted to get my hands on it.
And I've always wanted to get mine on yours, Lorraine. What, dear?
By the way, what time does Beverly get here? I'm not over anxious to meet him.
Oh, he's been and gone, Lorraine.
Oh, really? Well, I'm very glad. Oh, but of course, you're great friends, aren't you? You and Beverly.
Yes, I think he's a wonderful person.
Oh, I suppose he is. But really, when I finished acting with him, I was a perfect wreck. All during those tender love scenes that the critics thought was so magnificent. He kept dropping peanut shells down my dress. I wouldn't act with him again if I were starving.
Tell me, Lorraine, have you found a new play yet?
No. No, I haven't. There were a pile of manuscripts waiting for me in New York, but I rushed right out here to Sherry.
Oh, yes, that was wonderful of you, Lorraine, to drop everything that way and rush to Sherry's wheelchair.
Well, after all, Maggie dear, what else has one in this world but friends?
That's what I always say.
importantly, a very personal call. Would you mind?
Oh, not at all, Lorraine.
Yes, my dears, now tell me.
What?
Cedric, slow down. Yes, now I can hear you. Yes, perfectly. It's as though you were just around the corner. What? Don't be nervous. Oh, darling, you don't know how I've prayed for this every night on the boat. Yes, 1,000 times yes. Yes, I'll get the plane right out of here and catch the next boat. What? Oh, I love you too, my darling. Oh, so much. Yes, I will, darling. I'll be thinking of you every moment. You've made me the happiest girl in the world. Goodbye, darling, goodbye. Sherry, you know what just happened. Cedric just called from London. He's asked me to marry him.
What?
Just think of it, at last. I've got to get right out of here and catch the next boat.
May I come in?
Darling, will you help me get right out of here? I've simply got to get the next boat to England.
The Queen Mary sails Friday. What's happened?
Maggie, the most wonderful thing in the world has happened. Lord Bottomley has asked me to marry him. Oh, Maggie.
Really? Well, what do you know?
Would you look things up right away, please?
Oh, certainly, Lorraine.
Sherry, what's the matter with you? You haven't said a word. You haven't even congratulated me.
Let me understand this, Lorraine. Might gather from your girlish squeals that you plan to do your career in the ash can?
Well, no, of course not. Of course, I won't be able to play this season, Sherry, but there'll be other seasons.
Everything goes into the ash can wicket, is that right?
No, of course not, but you couldn't expect me to.
Don't explain, Lorraine. I understand only too well. I also understand why Cornell is the first actress of our theater.
Oh, this is wonderful. We're in luck, Lorraine. There's a plane out of Cleveland at 10:03. It takes about an hour to get there. Why, it all works out wonderfully, doesn't it, Sherry?
Peachy.
Maggie, what's the hotel I'm at? I've got to get my maid started packing.
Missalia 23.
Missalia 23, please. Let's see, I'll sail Friday, 5-day boat. That means I ought to be in London Wednesday night. Hello? Hello, this is Miss Sheldon. Yes. Put me through to my maid, will you?
Oh, look, Sherry, it's starting to snow. Oh, isn't that wonderful, Sherry? I've never felt more like Christmas in my life. Don't you, Sherry, dear?
Shut your nasty little face!
Cosette? Now listen carefully, Cosette. I need you to start packing immediately, and I need for you to send some cables for me. The first one goes to Lord and Lady Kennard. You'll find all these addresses in my little black book. It's in my dressing case. Lord and Lady Kennard, my darlings, sailing Friday, Queen Mary, marrying Cedric immediately upon arrival. Thought you'd like to be the first to know. Love, Lorraine. Now send... What? Oh, thank you, Cosette. Thank you very much. Now send the same message to Lady Astor, Lord Beaverbrook, and my mother in Kansas City. Got all that straight? Good dear. Now you'll have to hurry. I'll be at the hotel in about an hour. Goodbye. Cosette is the most wonderful maid in the world. Well, life is just really full of surprises, isn't it? Would have thought an hour ago I'd be on my way to London.
Hour ago? I certainly wouldn't have thought it an hour ago.
Will you both stop this dribbling? I have a violent headache.
Oh, Sherry, can I get you something?
Sherry, I'm sorry if I offended you, but after all, my life is my own. And
Say, did you know it's snowing out? It's going to be a real old-fashioned Christmas.
Why don't you go report your scoop to the New York Times?
Bert, Miss Sheldon has to catch a plane tonight from Cleveland. Can we drive her over, you and I?
Why, that, how about the Jefferson Special? Okay, Mr. Whiteside?
Yes, yes, yes. Mix anything. Just stop this dribbling.
Anyone admired my Christmas present, Maggie?
Oh dear, I almost forgot. Look, everybody, from Mr. Jefferson to me.
Oh, well, let me see it. Oh, look, it's inscribed, too. To Maggie, long may she wave, bird. Why, Maggie, it's a lovely Christmas present. Isn't that sweet, Sherry?
I told you it was beautiful, Bert. See?
Well, it shows what you get if you save your coupons.
What's going on between you two anyhow? Maggie, are you hiding something from us?
Oh, will you stop this female dribbling? I'm a violent headache.
The Jefferson Special will cure anything. I got a 2-minute interview with Beverly Carlton. You're right, Mr. Whiteside. He's quite something.
Go ahead, Bert. Mix the drinks.
On the fire. I didn't get to talk to him much. He was in a telephone booth most of the time.
Bert, mix those drinks, will you?
Okay. I couldn't tell what he was saying, but from the faces he was making, it looked like a scene from one of his plays.
Bert, for goodness sake.
Wait a second. First, did you say that Mr. Carlton was on a telephone booth at the train station?
Certainly was. I thought he'd never come out. He kept making the darndest faces for about 5 minutes.
But I have a feeling I shall love the Jefferson Special. Make mine a double. My headache is on the ring.
Okay.
Buy those bats that work. Hello, operator? I was wondering if you could tell me if there have been any calls from England in the past 3 days. What's that? There have been no calls from England to this residence in the past 3 hours. Thank you, and Merry Christmas. Oh, wait, can you repeat that? Come here. Thank you, operator, and Merry Christmas.
Sherry, what is all this?
I can only tell you, dear, that you've just played the greatest love scene of your life, with none other than your old friend and co-star, Beverly Carlton.
What do you mean?
You heard the operator, dear. I can only tell you that Beverly was indulging in one of his famous acts of mimicry. You've heard him do Lord Bond before, haven't you?
Well, yes, of course, but why would he do that? Oh, no, those cables. Those cables. Hello? Give me the hotel, whatever it's called. I want the hotel. Who the hell do you think it is? Miss Sheldon, of course. Wild, getting dirty, rotten. Mansion House? Yes, connect with my maid. Well, Cosette hasn't. Cosette, did you send those cables? Oh, no. Now listen, Cosette. I need you to send a cable to every one of those people, telling them someone has been using my name, and to disregard anything and everything they hear from me. Except this, of course. What? Don't ask questions. Do as you're told. Don't argue with me, you French hussy. Do as you're told. Not pack, not going.
Calm down, dear. Calm down.
What do you mean, calm down? Do you realize I'll be the laughing stock of England? Why, don't dare show my face. I always knew Beverly Carlton was low, but not this low. Why? It isn't even funny. Why would he do it? Why would Beverly Carlton, or anybody else, want to play such a silly trick like this? You saw him this afternoon. Do you know what this is about, Sherry? You, Maggie? Beverly Carlton. after you, Mr. Whiteside.
How much time?
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. How are we coming in, New York? A, B, C, D.
Couple of minutes.
A, B, C, D. Mary had a little lamb. Mary had a little lamb. Testing. Okay, New York. Mary had a little lamb. Waiting.
Here comes the Jefferson Special. Oh, have we time?
Oh, I'm sure we do, Mr. Jackson. I'm not leaving after all. My plans are changed.
Oh, well, that's good, Miss Sheldon.
And have you written a silly mom's name, Mr.
Daisy,
Jackson?
please.
I want you to read it to me tonight. Will you? We'll go back to the mansion house and you can read me your play.
Why, I should say so. I'd be delighted. Maggie, did you hear that? Oh, I bet you did this. You set up the whole thing. Well, it's the best Christmas present you could have given me. Maggie? Maggie?
30 seconds. Waiting.
Mr. Whiteside,
Quiet!
my son has run off on a freighter and my daughter's married an anarchist.
Quiet, please!
They say you told them to do it.
My poor June! My poor Richard! This is the most
What's going on here?
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Whiteside. I see you're still busy.
Don't tell me to be quiet in my own house.
Quiet, for goodness sakes! All right, boys and girls. Here, down to this mic.
Okay, New York.
Good evening, everybody. Cream of Mush brings you Sheridan Whiteside.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round young virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild. Sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace.
Hello, this is Whiteside speaking. On this eve of eves, I find it fitting to talk about that time nigh on 1,000 years ago. Under that bitter star of Bethlehem. Miss Pree,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
where do you disappear to all the time, my lady Nausea?
Mr. Whiteside, I can only be at one place at a time.
That is very fortunate for this community.
Good morning, Mr. Whiteside. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, John.
Are you ready for your breakfast yet, sir?
No, I don't think I'll be having any breakfast. Is Miss Kupper home?
Yes, sir.
Is she in her room? Do you know?
Yes, sir. She is. Shall I call?
No thank you, John.
Yes, sir.
I'm taking the 1 o'clock train, Sherry. I'm leaving.
You're doing nothing of the kind.
Here are your keys, your driver's license. The key to the safe deposit vault is in the apartment in New York. I'll go in here now and clear things up.
Just a moment, Miss Siddons. Where were you until 3 o'clock this morning? I sat up half the night in the station wagon worrying about you. You heard me calling you when you came in. Why didn't you answer me?
Look, Sherry, it's over. You won. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, come. What are you trying to do, Maggie? Make me feel like a naughty, naughty boy? Really, sometimes you can be very annoying.
You know, you're quite wonderful, Sherry. In a way. You're annoyed. I wish there was a laugh left in me. Shall I tell you something, Sherry? I think you are a selfish, petty egomaniac who'd rather see his mother
6 months' time, you'll be thanking me instead of berating me.
In 6 months, Sherry, I expect to be so far away from you that I will never have...
Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. I'm a little high, but I can explain everything. Hi, Maggie. Hi, Mr. Whiteside. Shake hands with the successful playwright. Maggie, why'd you run away last night? Where were you? Miss Sheldon thinks the play is wonderful. I read her the play, and she thinks it's wonderful. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes, that's fine, Bert.
Isn't that wonderful, Mr. Whiteside?
Look, Jefferson, I suggest you tell us all about this later. Why don't you go home?
What? No, biggest day of my life. I know I'm a little drunk, but it's been a big day. We went over to Billy's Tavern, never realized there was daylight until there was daylight. Listen, Maggie, Miss Sheldon thinks the play needs a little bit of fixing. Do it in 3 weeks. She's got a little place in Lake Placid. It was only for 3 weeks. Why don't you say something, Maggie?
Look, Bert, please tell us all about this later. Why don't you...
Oh, excuse me. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas.
And God bless us all, and Tiny Tim.
Yes. Mr. Whiteside, I thought perhaps if I
Look,
came...
Doctor, I think Mr. Jefferson here would like a little black coffee and some breakfast. Would you take care of him, please?
Yes, yes.
Doc, I'm gonna buy you the biggest breakfast you've ever had.
Yes, yes, Jefferson.
Let's climb down a couple of chimneys. I got a friend that doesn't believe in Santa Claus. Let's climb down his chimney and frighten the hell out of him.
Now then, I'm willing to forgive these tawdry outbursts and talk about this poem.
I love it so terribly. Oh, Sherry, why did you do it? Merry Christmas, dear Mr. Whiteside.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Miss Stanley.
I'm afraid I shouldn't be talking to you right now. My brother's terribly angry at me, but I couldn't resist asking, did you like my Christmas present?
I'm sorry, Miss Stanley. I haven't opened it yet. I haven't opened any of my presents.
Oh, I was so anxious to. Look, here it is. Won't you open it?
Why, thank you, Miss Stanley. This is very thoughtful of you. Why, thank you. I'm very fond of these old photos.
I was 22 when that was taken. That was my favorite dress. Do you really like it?
I do. And when I get back to town, I shall send you something special as well.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Whiteside. I shall treasure it. I shall be late for church. I better be going. Merry Christmas, Mr. Whiteside.
Merry Christmas, Miss Stanley, and thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Sarah's got something special for you, Mr. Whiteside. She's just taken it out of the oven.
Thank you, John. What is it? Oh. Miss Pree!
Yes, sir. Yes,
Answer the door, will you? John is upstairs.
Yes, sir.
Jack the Ripper! I love you madly, madly!
Put me down. Who are you?
Did you hear what I said? Madly! Kiss me! Don't be afraid of my passion. Kiss me! I can feel your hot blood pounding through your varicose veins. Kiss me!
Don't you dare kiss me! Put me
Bad joke. Hello, Whiteside. Will you sign for this package? Banjo. Banjo.
some rye bread.
Really, Mr. Whiteside?
I'm here to spend Christmas with you, Whiteside. Give me a kiss. Get away from me, you reform school fugitive. How did you get here anyway? Daryl Zanuck loaned me the reindeer. Whiteside, we finished shooting the picture yesterday, and I'm on my way to Nova Scotia. Flew here in 12 hours. Powered the plane from Howard Hughes. Whiteside, I have brought you a wonderful Christmas present. This brassiere was once worn by Hetty Lamar. Oh, listen, you idiots, how long can you stay? Just long enough to take a bath. I'm on my way to Nova Scotia. Where's Maggie? Nova Scotia? What for? I'm sick of Hollywood, and there's a dame in New York I don't want to see. So I figured I'd go to Nova Scotia and get some smoked salmon. Where the hell is Maggie? What's the matter? Where is she? Banjo, glad you're here. Very annoyed at Maggie. Very. Say, wait a minute. I thought you couldn't walk. Oh, I've been all right for weeks. That isn't the point. You know how fond I am of Maggie? Well, she's turned on me like a viper. She's repaying me for all these years by behaving like a fishwife. What are you talking about? Well, I never thought she was really in love with me. In love with who? I just got here, remember? Shut up, you Hollywood nitwit, I'm telling you. Young newspaper man here in town. Well, Maggie finally fell, huh? What kind of guy is he? Oh, shut up. Well, you see, this young newspaper man, he'd written a play. And Lorraine Sheldon happened to stop in here out of the blue, so you can guess the rest. Old hot pants? Here? Maggie's in there now, crying her eyes out. Gee! What do you mean Lorraine Sheldon just happened to come out here? I smell a rat, Sherry. A rat with a beard. Well, all right. But I did it for Maggie. Because it was the right thing. For her. Oh, sure, you haven't thought of yourself in years. Gee, poor kid. Where is she? Can I go talk to her? No, Banjo. Leave her alone. Anything I can do, Sherry? What about this guy? This guy she likes. Can we get a hold of him? No, Banjo. Don't want any phony warrants, or you pretending to be Donna Kupper. I've been through all that with you before. Got Lorraine out here. Now it's my job to get her out. It's gotta be good, Sherry. Lorraine's no dope. Now there must be something that would get her out of here like a bat out of hell. Say, I think I've got it. You know that fella she's so crazy about over in England? What's his name? Lord Fanning or whatever it is? Bottomley! Bottomley, that's it, Bottomley! No, Banjo, no. You don't catch on. You see, we sent a cablegram to Lorraine from Lord Bottomley. I catch on, Banjo. Lorraine caught on too. It's been tried. Told you she was no dope, so I guess we have a tough proposition on your hands. The trouble is, so damn little time. Get out of my chair. The trouble is, I've done this job too well. Damn! Hella damnation! Stuck, huh? What in the words of one of our great lyric poets? You said it. Don't worry, Sherry. We'll get Lorraine out of here if I have to do it one piece at a time. Gee, I'm hungry.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Whiteside. I've got something for you. But, Mr. Whiteside, it was for you.
Never mind, Sarah.
Mr.
Just what does this mean?
This means, Mr. Whiteside, that I am leaving. My address is on the desk inside. You can send me a check.
You realize, Miss Preen, that this is completely unprofessional.
I do indeed, Mr. Whiteside. I am not only walking out of this case, but I am leaving the entire nursing profession. You see, all of my life, ever since I was a little girl, I had the idea of serving a suffering humanity. But after 1 month of working with you, Mr. Whiteside, I am off to work in the munitions factory. From now on, anything I can do to help exterminate the human race will fill me with the greatest pleasure. And if Florence Nightingale had ever nursed you, Mr. Brightside, she would have married Jack the Ripper instead of founding the Red Cross. Good day.
Mr. Stanley's here with June. He's brought June back. Thank goodness, thank goodness. Miss Breen, where are you going?
I'm leaving.
Oh, June, thank God you're back. You're not married, are you?
No, Mother, I'm not. So you stop being hysterical.
Oh, June, if it had been anyone but that awful boy, thank goodness you stopped him, Ernest. How did you do it?
Never mind that, Daisy. Just take June upstairs. I have something to say to Mr. Whiteside.
But what about Richard? Is there any news?
It's all under control. Just take June upstairs.
Father, haven't we had enough melodrama? I don't have to be taken upstairs. I will go upstairs. And Merry Christmas, Mr. Whiteside. I guess it looks bad for John L. Lewis. Come, Mother. Lock me in my room.
Now, June, you'll feel much better if you've had a hot bath. I know. Have you had anything to eat?
I am pleased to inform you, sir, that your plans for my daughter have gone a trifle awry. She is not, nor will she ever marry that labor agitator you so kindly pick out for her. As for my son, he has been apprehended in Toledo and will be brought home within the hour. Not having your gift for invectives, sir, I cannot tell you what I think of your obnoxious interference in my affairs. I have now arranged that you will interfere no longer. Come in, gentlemen. Mr. Whiteside, these gentlemen are deputy sheriffs. They have been warned for which I am able to put you out of this house, which I need hardly add will be the greatest moment of my life. 15 minutes, Mr. Whiteside. That means which are you pack up and get out. If you're not gone, these men will forcibly eject you. Thank you, gentlemen. Please step outside. 15 minutes, Mr. Whiteside. That means bag, baggage, wheelchair, penguins, octopus, and cockroaches. I'm now going upstairs to smash our radio, so that not even accidentally will I ever hear your voice again.
Sure you don't want my autograph, old fellow?
15 minutes, Mr. Whiteside.
Boy, can she cook? I didn't get an idea. Any news from the front? Yes. Envy is at my rear, and nipped it.
Where did you say Maggie was? In here?
It's no use, Banjo. She's leaving at 1 o'clock.
You didn't tell me that. No kidding. After all these years, she's really leaving.
She is.
And that means you have only until 1 o'clock to do something.
No, Banjo dear. It means I have exactly 14 minutes. You should pull out of my hat the biggest rabbit you've ever seen.
What do you mean, 15 minutes?
Baby's rosy little body is being tossed out into the snow. My hostess sworn out of warrants. I'm being kicked out.
I've never heard of such a thing with you, Sherry. What would you do a thing like that for?
I don't know. Banjo dear, the master is growing a little desperate.
What about laying your cards out on the table with the ring?
Come, Banjo. You know Blossom Girl as well as I do. What do you think?
You're right.
Banjo, would you go talk to Maggie, please?
didn't get very far. Any suggestions?
I'm sorry, Richard. I wish I were in some sort of position.
Well, you're not in position. Thank you, officer. Here's something for your trouble.
Thank you, sir.
Will you please go upstairs, Richard? 10 minutes, Whiteside.
I brought you some orange juice, Mr. Whiteside. Feeling any better?
Superb, John. Any cyanide in his orange juice?
No, sir.
Hit the door, John. It's probably some mustard gas from an old friend.
Yes. Say, that crazy fellow made a hit to Sarah. He wants to give us a green test.
Good morning. Is Mr. Whiteside up yet?
Yes, he is, Miss Shelton. He's right.
Merry Christmas, darling. Merry Christmas. I've come to have Christmas breakfast with you, my dear. May I?
Yes, of course, my sprite. John, will you make some breakfast for Miss Shelley? Gonna make it 1 minute eggs.
My darling, it's the most perfect Christmas morning. The snow is absolutely glistening. Too bad you can't get out.
Oh, I'll probably see a bit of it. So, I hear you're going up north with Mr. Jefferson.
Oh, is Bert here?
He rolled in a while ago. Worked rather fast, didn't you, dear?
Darling, I was simply swept off my feet by the play. It's fantastically good. Darling, it's the kind of part that comes along once in 10 years. I'm so grateful for you, Sherry. Sometimes I think you're the only friend I have in the world. Really. What would you like for Christmas? Anything. I'm so deliriously happy that... That sounds like Banjo. Is he here?
Yes, just the family circle gathering for Christmas. My, how time flies. Having fun.
Why, hello, sweetie pants. How are you?
Very well. And you, Banjo?
I'm fine, fine. How's the man-eating business, Lorraine?
Very funny. Too bad, Banjo, that your pictures aren't as funny as you seem to think you are.
You got me there, Mama. Say, you look in the pink, Lorraine. Anything in the wind, Whiteside?
Not it within that.
What time's the boat sail?
10 minutes.
What boat is this?
The good ship up the creek.
I've listed everything except for the New Year's Eve broadcast. Wasn't there a schedule on that?
Yes, I believe it's on the desk.
Thank you.
Oh, of course, New Year's Eve. Bert and I are here to Lake Placid. You were at my cottage up there once, weren't you, Sherry? It's lovely. Nothing but clear, cold night. Oh, that'll be Bert now. I told him to meet me here. You know, Sherry, I'm looking forward to Lake Placid. Bert's the kind of man who do all the winter sports beautifully.
Will he get time?
Whiteside?
Yes.
Right.
All right, come along. Right this way. Careful now. No coming. Right this way, sir. Where do you want to put? Right there. It's for you, Mr. Whiteside.
Sherry, what is this?
Great Scott. There's one thing I needed right now. An Egyptian monk.
Merry Christmas from the Khedive of Egypt. What did you send him, Grant's tomb? 5 minutes, Mr. Whiteside. Including that.
What was all that about? Who is that man?
He announces the time in 5 minutes. I pay him a small sum.
What on earth for, Sherry?
I lost my watch.
Part of
Pardon me, Mr. Whiteside. I see you're still busy.
Yes, very busy.
Pardon me. Excuse me, Mr. Whiteside. I'll be waiting here. I've read a new chapter on What's Kid.
Is that the plumber again, Sherry? Oh dear, I would have been perfect here. What's the matter with you, Sherry? You're usually bubbling over on Christmas morning. Who said this to you, Sherry? The Khedive of Egypt? I must go to Egypt someday. I really must. The first time I went to Pompeii, I cried all night. All those people, all those lives. And where are they now? Don't you ever think about that? Iris. Here was a woman like myself. A woman who once lived and loved, full of the same passions, fears, jealousies, hates. And what remains of any of it now? Just this and nothing more. A span of 4,000 years, a mere atom in the eternity of time. And here am I, living out your life. I want to cry. Oh, but I mustn't talk this way today. It's Christmas. It's Christmas.
Wait a minute. Did you ever play St. Joan?
Why, no, Sherry. Why do you ask?
There was a great expression about you as you stood in the mummy case. There was an absolute halo about you, my dear.
Sherry, how sweet.
Please, will you do it again?
Sherry, you're judging me, aren't you?
I don't make light of these things, Lorraine. There was a pure beauty about you as you stood in the case. Pure Da Vinci.
Well, I don't know what it was I did, but I'll try to... I got you silly, Sherry.
Lorraine, in that single moment, you reached the epitome of your art. And you shouldn't be ashamed of it. Lorraine, dear, a few moments ago, you asked me what I wanted for Christmas. Well, dear, all I want for Christmas is the memory of you in that mummy case.
My darling, I'm all choked up. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust, and to dust thou shalt.
Yes, speak up. That's service for you. Will she be all right in there? Oh, sure. She can read. I'll let her out as soon as we get on the plane. What are we going to do now? Easy, Banjo. One step at a time. That's the next step. Think fast, Captain. Think fast.
This is everything, Sherry. Is there anything else in there? What's in this basket?
Nothing, nothing. Just throw it away.
Shall I follow these letters? Do you want this picture?
No. Wait. I want the picture.
The only thing I haven't done is put all your broadcasts in order. Do you want me to do that?
Yes. That's very important, Maggie. Go do that.
I'll see you before I go, Banjo.
Now I've got it. What? Now I know how to get this case out of here. Knew I'd seen that face on the before. What face? How?
Time's up, Whiteside. 15 minutes. Say, I thought you couldn't walk.
It's a miracle. Hallelujah. Just one favor before I go, Mr. Stanley. Would you ask those gentlemen to come in here and help this gentleman carry this mummy case to the airport?
I will do nothing of the sort.
Oh, I think you will, Mr. Stanley. Or shall I inform my radio audience on my next broadcast that your sister, Harriet Stanley, is none other than Harriet Sedley, who murdered her parents 25 years ago in Rochester, Massachusetts. Come, it is a small favor. Will you help me? Or would you rather have the people of Visalia once again repeating that popular little jingle? Harriet Sedley took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks. And when the job was nicely done, she gave her father 41. Come, Mrs. Stanley, it is a small favor. I,
person I've ever met.
You're a little late finding that out, aren't you? Officers, come in here. Mr. Stanley would like you to help this gentleman take this mummy case to the airport. He's sending it to a friend in Nova Scotia. Whiteside, you're a great man. Collect! Banjo, I love you, and I may write a book about you. Don't bother! I can't read! Goodbye, Maggie. Love conquers all. Careful with this case, gentlemen. It contains an antique.
Sherry, was that white thinking?
Well, it was. Here, my dear, a little Christmas present.
Oh, Sherry, you old reprobate.
Oh, just send me a necktie sometime. My hat and coat, Maggie, I'm leaving.
You're leaving?
Don't argue, rat girl, do as you're told.
Yes, Mr. Whiteside.
Mr. Whiteside, I'd like to apologize. Say,
Don't think about it, Jefferson. Some plans have been changed. Miss Sheldon's on the world cruise. Maggie will explain the rest to you.
Maggie.
Maggie, dear, I love you.
Mr. Whiteside, are you very busy?
Yes, Doctor. Very busy. But if you're ever in New York, try and find me. Goodbye, Maggie. I love you.
You're wonderful, Sherry.
Don't mention this. Jefferson, you'll never know the trouble you've caused.
Goodbye, Mr. Whiteside.
Mr. Stanley, I would like to hear in some time that your young man has been allowed to follow his own bent, and that your daughter was allowed to marry her young man, or else. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Maggie, for Pete's sake, what is all this? Where's he going? I didn't even know he could walk.
It's okay, Bert. You're too young to know. Just don't